Okay, continuing on, we'll start with the Federal Trade Commission telemarketing sales rules. If you have told them that you don't want to be called, then they are prohibited from calling you, and you should tell them that. And you may want to follow up to be sure that you're on the don't call list. Telemarketing calls cannot be made before 8 a.m. and after 9 p.m. They must tell you that it is a sales call. They also have to tell you the name of the seller and what they are selling. If a prize promotion is involved, you must be told that no purchase or payment is necessary to enter to win. Telemarketers may not misrepresent any information about the cost, quantity, and other aspects of the offered goods or services. Before you pay, telemarketers must tell you the total cost of the goods and any restrictions on getting or using them, or that a sale is final or not refundable. And telemarketers are prohibited from withdrawing money from your checking account without your express verifiable authorization. Telemarketers offering to arrange loans, provide credit service, or recover money from another scam may not seek payment before rendering the promised service. And the state law enforcement officers are authorized to prosecute fraudulent telemarketers who operate across state lines. And then there's a website there that you can get additional information. Some common fraud, or maybe not so common fraud, are foreign scams. These may involve a letter or phone call about a foreign investment that, again, is too good to be true. Telemarketing scams, commonly called or include sweepstakes, prize offers, travel packages, maybe investments, charities, work at home, magazine sales, lotteries, and business opportunities. We've all heard about these types of scams. Advance fee loans. Fraudulent loan brokers misrepresent the availability of credit with a guarantee to get you credit, but you must pay before you apply. Credit repair, an appeal to clean up the credit reports of consumers with poor credit histories. These are all scams that may not be real common, or fraud that may not be very common, but you should be on the lookout for them. Automatic debit scams. Fraudulent telemarketers use these techniques to take money from your checking accounts. Do not give out your checking account information over the phone. And on the other side of that, check your checking account regularly. Don't wait anymore for the end of the month when you do a reconciliation, but you should be checking it every few days to make sure someone has not scammed you, because that is happening pretty often on debit cards. That's why many of the banks have gone to the chip system. Fraudulent diets. Americans spend an estimated $6 billion a year on fraudulent diet products sold with advertising, such as the amazing skin patch melts away body fat or lose weight while you sleep. Again, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Magazine subscriptions. Beware of telephone sales pitches for free, prepaid, or special magazine subscriptions. Toll-free scams. Calls to 800 and 888 numbers are almost always free. However, there are some exceptions, so be careful with those. International phone scams. Scam artists confuse callers by promoting calls to 809 numbers. While these telephone numbers may look like domestic calls, international rates do apply, so you want to be aware of those. Prepaid phone card scams. Selling prepaid calling cards may involve a multi-level marketing scam with a large upfront fee. Most of us do not use those anymore because there are so many scams involved with them. Online and high-tech scams. Common internet scams are pyramid schemes where those below you, you make money off those below you, and so you try to get as many people involved underneath you as you can. Internet related services, equipment sales, business opportunities, and work at home offers. Those are all common scams and fraud that commit fraud that we should be familiar with and aware of. How to handle a consumer problem. This is very important. Many people do not know how to handle consumer problems. and therefore it gets on their bad credit list. So you want to be sure you know how to do that. The first thing you should do whenever you start handling a consumer problem, say you've bought something from someone, it could be a car, it could be something smaller such as a computer that's not working properly and you keep having to send it in or have problems, immediately start a file in your home on that and keep copies of all your sales receipts, your repair orders, warranties, cancel checks, and contracts. It's also a good idea to keep a phone log and a journal showing everything that you've done for this. Go back to where you made the purchase and contact the person who sold you the item or performed the service. Start with them. Calmly and accurately explain the problem and what action you would like taken. It sounds like redundant, but you do need to tell them what you expect them to do about it. And it needs to be realistic, of course. Talk with the supervisor or manager if necessary, but don't start with them. Allow each person you contact time to resolve the problem before you go to another person, and keep a record, which we've already said in the first part, of all your efforts, everything that you do. Don't give up. Call or write the person responsible for consumer complaints at the company's headquarters. It's okay to call them at first, but if you don't get any satisfaction, then you need to write them, and do so in a proper letter format. Get someone to check it for you. You don't want it to be too wordy, but you want to get your point across and explain to them what you need done, what you've already done, and the action you expect them to take. Describe the problem, describe why you're unsatisfied, detail what, if anything, you've done about it already, and describe what you think is a fair solution. How to write a complaint letter, I just mentioned a few of those. Where to write, the company official handling the complaints. This may take a phone call first for you to be sure that you know who that is and get the complete address and their title. What to write, your name, address, and account number. Be sure to give them the details. Describe the purchase, like the product name, any serial numbers, the date, and where you purchased it. State the problem and give the history. Ask for specific action. Enclose copies of documents that regard the problem. Allow time for action or response. You may even want to give them a date of when you expect to hear from them so that they know. Include how you can be reached. So don't forget to give as many ways for them to reach you as possible: phone number, email address, and your physical mailing address. Things that you should avoid doing: don't write an angry, sarcastic, or threatening letter. It won't get you anywhere. And you should never send your original documents, only send copies. You should definitely type your letter. You can write it handwritten neatly, but it's really better for it to be typed in proper format. And keep copies of all the letters that you send to and that you receive from the company. Many times these types of letters will keep you off the bad credit list if you have a complaint with the company. For instance, my husband went to the doctor one time and they charged him for a medical procedure that they weren't able to do, but he still got charged for it. He never wrote the company or the hospital, and he should have, so that it would stay off of his bad credit list, because he chose not to pay it. It did go on the bad credit, and I eventually had to write a letter. End of this video.